Cancer affects over 5,000 children in the Philippines annually. Despite being highly treatable, late diagnosis and other factors contribute to a low survival rate of only 30%. So, in this B-side episode, we will explore the country's challenges in fighting childhood cancer. Today, I am with Dr. Ana Patricia A. Alcazabas, Head of Pediatric Hematology Oncology at the Philippine General Hospital, or PGH, and Chair of the National Subtechnical Working Group for Childhood Cancer. She will talk about childhood cancer care in PGH and how the institution leads initiatives to improve childhood cancer care in the Philippines. Hello, Ms. Alcazabas. It's my pleasure to talk to you today. So let's kick off this interview with my first question. So, what is the current prevalence of pediatric cancer or childhood cancer cases in PGH? And may I know what are the hotspot areas?
So we see sa charity patients, mga 250 cancer patients a year na newly diagnosed children with cancer. But in the private wing of PGH, around 50. So roughly, we see 300 patients a year. As you know, there's about 5,200 Filipino children with cancer diagnosed in the country. So you can say na nasa 8% of what we see of the country. So the most common cancers that we see is leukemia, in line with the most common cancer in Filipino children. The second most common cancer that we see is brain tumor, but that's actually just the third most common cancer in Filipino children. The reason why we see more brain tumors is because we have a very good neurosurgery service, and we provide radiation kasi we have a radiation oncology facility. And then we have nurses being trained to become good nurses for brain tumors. And as you know, may partnership with St. Jude, so we also are being built we are working to become a brain tumor center of excellence. Meron kaming data for leukemia where they come from. So in general, similar to the Cancer Institute in PGH that sees about 5,000 new patients a year, no? Mostly Region 4A.
Region 4.
Region
Okay.
4B, Region 3, yan. Pero 4A, 4B. Marami, 4A, 4B.
What the first thing the parents can do if they saw some symptoms of cancer in their children? Because I had conversation with some parents before that they don't know where to go. Are they supposed to go to their local health center? So, Ms. Alcazabas, can you enlighten us about this?
Maybe you can help us disseminate. I'm also the head of the Technical Working Group for Childhood Cancer National. So through this office, we were able to incorporate screening questions that will be used by barangay health workers. When they have children below 5, come to the barangay health centers, and also for the nurses and the physicians working in the specialized barangay health centers. There are screening questions, and if they are positive, it might be a leukemia. It might be a bone cancer. It might be an eye cancer. And there are steps what to do. So let's go first to diba? Ideally, if they are screened, then they will do the CBC to check if there is leukemia. Not to PGH. CBC lang naman, ang dami-dami CBC kahit sa high precision, di ba? Meron yan. Ideally, they will do it kung nasa community, di ba? So they can have the CBC done. And if it shows that it is a leukemia, the nearest cancer center in Tansaka, there are actually 188 hospitals treating children with cancer, and 70% or 80% are private. But what is happening is that, of course, they will come to PGH. When they come to PGH, we will do all the tests for free, and we will give the treatment for free. That is what's happening. So What we would like to do is that we are now working with I Want to Share na makakreate ng referral pathway. But in general, ang gusto sana namin mangyari is that our navigators will help them be checked sa PGH. Anyway, kung positive ang kanilang CBC, they go to the ER and we will do everything from free from diagnosis to treatment. So sa PGH, yes, libre ang testing. Pero you wonder, di ba, Edge, dun sa Universal Healthcare framework na may law na na-pass noong 2019, di ba, is that ang Cavite also has a provincial hospital. Kasi kung nasa 13 Martires siya o kung saan. Ideally, kung halimbawa may leukemia, tapos may kailangan salina ng dugo, they can actually go to the provincial hospital nila, di ba? And then pag na-stabilize na siya, pwede siyang, or sana later on, meron sanang oncologist, di ba? Or hematologist sa provincial hospital ng Cavite, na pwede sana namin tulungan, di ba? Na doon na lang gamutin. Ang kagandahan pala, I just learned yesterday, is that there will be a PGH Cavite. Pwede natin i-confirm sa PGH. There will be a PGH Cavite. It is not as big as PGH. It is kind of like an area where they can provide a level 2 care para hindi na pupunta yung pasyente sa PGH.
So, Doc, how about in concerns of misdiagnosis or underdiagnosis? Because I heard some stories also that some patients have experienced that. Why is this happening?
Maraming reasons. So first is, let's look at one particular situation sa eye cancer. Sa eye cancer, kapag may bukol sa loob ng mata, nandun din yan sa aming screening questions and screening physical exam for the barangay health worker para lang siyang matang pusa, di ba? Nakita niyo naman yon, and we can give you the poster. Pwedeng pa-viber ko kay Luisa. So, it's just like a white pupil. It will require an ophthalmologist to diagnose it. You don't need an MRI or a CT scan. An ophthalmologist needs to check. But the white pupil, makikita na yan ng nanay eh. Pag nakita siya ng nanay, tapos pumunta siya sa barangay health center, kasi sinabi na, kailangan kang makita ng ophthalmologist. So, pupunta siya sa ophthalmologist. Sometimes, pag pumunta siya sa ophthalmologist, yung ophthalmologist, baka hindi siya experienced or yung ophthalmologist baka busy kasi hindi mo naman nakita yung mata dahil umiiyak, nakapikit. Kasi ang dami-dami niyang pasyente. Tapos yung bata, hindi mo talaga pwedeng mahawakan kasi iyak siya ng iyak. So minsan siguro nami-misdiagnose kasi hindi complete yung examination. However, kadalasan ang nangyayari is that sinabihan na sila ng ophthalmologist, it may be a cancer of the eye, the retinoblastoma. But the mother does not want to accept. And the mother does not want to go to PGH or another hospital that they refer to for more tests to be done or for chemotherapy or removal of the eyeball to be done. So when we did the study of retinoblastoma, why does it take 9 months for them to be diagnosed with retinoblastoma or to arrive in PGH for the treatment? The reason is because 60% financial. They know they have cancer. They just don't want to go. The 20% is misdiagnosis. 10% is just too far. They don't know where to go. 10% is fear. So the misdiagnosis is a 20% problem. 20% problem. So, yun. I also have a patient story, ha? Maganda to. 2 patient stories. Baka pwede mong
Sige po, Doc.
makita. So, one is a first patient from San Rafael near Iloilo. Ano nga pa ito near Iloilo? one province, sa isang province sa Visayas, San Rafael, Antique. Sumakit ang paa niya after playing basketball. 15-year-old na yun. Nakita siya ng kanyang provincial health officer, the local doctor. He said, it looks like a bone cancer based on your x-ray. It needs to be biopsied. Pumunta siya sa cancer center for the Visayas region. So Western Visayas, na nasa Iloilo. Pagdating niya doon, binayopsy siya. But, I guess, I don't know what the problem is. It took 6 weeks for the pathology to come out. Nung lumabas nun, they could not do anything for the child. Ang tagal-tagal na biopsy, the patient was in the hospital. So, the patient decided to go to Manila. But before he can go to Manila, tumawag muna siya kay Tulfo, who gave him 10 or 20,000 pesos. So, he went to Manila by boat. When he arrived there, he knew na ang cancer for the bone is the National Orthopedic. So, he went to National Orthopedic. Pagdating niya sa National Orthopedic, nandun siya for 2 months, on and off. Finally, na-schedule siya for surgery. After niya na-surgery at sinabing cancer, unfortunately, we don't give chemotherapy, we only do surgery. And so, he has to find a hospital on his own. Finally, dumating siya sa PGH, emergency room. Pagdating sa amin, from the bone, it has spread to the liver. It has spread to the lung. He came in with several lymph nodes, yung kulane, compressing the kidney. He was in renal failure. Kamuntik ng mag-dialysis. At that point, we said, hindi ka na curable. Hindi ka na curable because kalat na. And wala nang magagawa talaga. Kasi kumalat na eh. Pag ganito, wala ka na magagawa kasi stage 4. And so, what did we do? We controlled the pain. We gave antibiotics. We gave fluids. The kidney test became normal. We explained to the family, all we can do is hospice or palliative care. So, we have a service called Quago. This service, in what they do is they would now, for palliative care patients, actively liaise and coordinate with the local government, with the community doctors, so that he can be taken care of at home. So that is what we did. So, nagka-Zoom meeting kami with the Antique, municipal health officer, social worker, nurse, barangay health worker. From another foundation, Cancer Warriors, we got a plane ticket for both the father and the child. We flew them sa Antique. Sinundo sila ng ambulance ng LGU for the 1 or 2 hour ride to their home. Pagdating doon, inalagaan siya, hino-home visit siya ng municipal health officer. After a month or 2 months, namatay din siya. Pero Edge, nakita mo tong story, may early diagnosis ang doktor sa Antique. Dinala siya sa Western Visayas na nasa buto pa lang. Ang tagal ng pathology, dinala siya sa ibang hospital bago dumating sa amin. 3 to 4 hospitals. Western Visayas is a cancer center. National Orthopedic is a cancer center. PGH is a cancer center. In that part, ang patient journey, ang dami niyang pinagdaanan na mali. Alam ng doktor, but I think the system. Hindi nabasa on time, coordinate, hindi tinuruan ng pasyente kung saan pupunta, naghanap pa ng PGH, pero pwede naman sana sa PGH na operahan, na biopsy, gawa lahat, diba? Walang coordination of care. Hindi kaya ng PGH lahat. But, as the technical working group ng childhood cancer, I can see how we should actually mobilize. Everybody has a role to play. But community, the provincial hospital, the regional cancer center, lahat. Pabayaan yung bata. Kawawa naman. I can give you the slide set niyan. para ma-highlight natin. Paalam lang ako sa magulang kung pwedeng ipakita. Kasi I feel na pag sinulat mo yung patient story, sa tingin ko magigitla eh. Makikita ng Department of Health, ng LGU na lahat may role, may responsibility.
It really saddens me to hear that, Doc, that this happened to the family of the boy. So, in regards to the same concern, what is the PGH has been doing to help our patients navigate the right cancer care?
So, ang PGH, ang ginawa namin ay first, nag-create kami ng educational campaigns for retinoblastoma, for the eye cancer. PGH nag-spearhead and we collaborated with PCMC and East Avenue to have that retinoblastoma Metro Manila campaign wherein we lectured sa Quezon City LGU, sa Makati LGU, and distributed posters and flyers on the early warning signs. Myself, as part of PGH, included the questions for screening and test, di ba? Sa Department of Health, education ng barangay health workers. In terms of patient navigation within the hospital, such that there is no more institutional delay. So we have done patient navigation for our patients, but myself, as part of PGH, spearheaded the patient navigation program, which is funded by the WHO GICC, WHO Global Initiative for Childhood Cancer. And we have now trained 70 patient navigators in 20 hospitals nationwide. What they do is they can receive referrals from the community and then make sure that these patients are urgently taken care of in their centers. So it's a work in progress. So to summarize, we have done at the national level some programs, patient navigation, retinoblastoma treatment guidelines, diba? And early detection campaigns. Sa brain tumor din, usually lecture, mga ganyan.
So, Doc, in relation to your story, I just want to ask, what is the ideal sequence of childhood cancer care in the Philippines? And what is the reality happening in the field?
Ideally, all the simple cancers can be treated within your regional cancer center. And the complex cancers should be treated in specialized cancer centers like PGH. Okay? That's the ideal world. Meaning, if, let's say, a patient, let's say, from Antique was diagnosed, suspected for cancer, the blood test or the X-ray can be done within Antique, within the provincial hospital, which is a level 2, diba? Then, if it is diagnosed with cancer, you can go to, let's say, Western Visayas, where your regional cancer center, that you can do maybe the CT scan. You can do sana the biopsy, diba? And then you have a pathologist who is confident to read the specimen as a cancer and not an infection. Now, the chemotherapy is very simple. Let's say, diba? Maybe that can be done sa regional cancer center. But what about the surgery? The surgery that may involve preserving the nerve, cutting some blood vessels, and then sewing them up again. What if you want to preserve the bone? What if you want to preserve the leg, diba? So, complex ang surgery niyan. So, yan, baka dapat sa PGH yan. Then, paano yung chemotherapy afterwards? Pwede yan ibalik sa regional cancer center. Ganun ideally. Diba? Parang it's a collaboration of care. Para yung mga pasyente can have their treatment close to home. For example, for brain cancers naman, you can refer directly, for example, to PGH kasi ICU siya, kailangan ng neurologist, then ooperahan ng neurosurgeon, bibigyan ng chemotherapy sa PGH and radiation. Pero paano na yung follow-up? Kailangan pa ba siya na nasa PGH kung taga-Samar siya? Baka naman pwede na siyang i-follow up sa Eastern Visayas Medical Center, which is a basic cancer center. Ganun sana, di ba? It's collaboration within the cancer centers. Pero ang nangyayari, pupunta sila sa Manila. So some of the patients that we see, dumaan na ng NCH, but they were so busy, they can only do the CT scan, but they will not be able to operate because they don't have a cardiovascular surgeon there. So they will go to PCMC, which is just 5 kilometers away. Pagdating doon, sabihin nila wala rin silang cardiovascular surgeon. So, nalito yung magulang, akala niya kailangan niya ng heart surgeon, so pumunta siya sa heart center na hindi naman cancer center. So, gagawa lang nila ng 2D echo para sabihin that the tumor is compressing the heart. But they cannot do anything, so they will go to the cancer center. So, pumunta siya sa PGH. I guess, Edge, magulo yung kwento, no? But I guess ang gusto kong sabihin, people don't know where they should go. And so, on their own, they navigate. They decide with their families, where do I go? So, pahula-hula sila. Kaya dami-dami na napupuntahan. Tapos yung mga hospital naman, hindi naman kami nag-uusap-usap. We don't help, di ba? To bring the child to PGH. We don't talk. They did not call us. Diba? Pumunta lang siya eventually. Walang tumatawag sa amin. Parang self-determination. In the ideal world, there should be somebody who will help the family to go. Yun siguro yung sinasabi namin help desk, diba?
So you mentioned, Doc, the help desk, right? I actually featured the story before. So with this help desk, how it could actually help the patients and families to navigate cancer care?
The help desk actually can help coordinate the care. Sometimes, pagdating na magulang doon, hindi naman siya tatanggapin, di ba? Kasi puno na. So the help desk is supposed to give the information to the physician clearly para they can decide if they will be able to accept the case or not. Kung hindi, lipat. Kung wala silang facility na yung lipat. It takes very good communication. And unfortunately, the parents, of course, they don't know the disease, they don't talk in medical terms, they don't know the gravity of the issue, so they cannot communicate well. It will dapat physician to physician, and that's what the help desk will do, is chain bridge. The help desk has 3 parts. The first part, because we're piloting it in Santa Rosa and in Bacoor, Cavite, di ba? So the first part is actually understanding, baseline assessment, where is the local hospital, how many barangays are there. So the manual that we have, the screening questions, is personalized. If let's say, suspect leukemia, where exactly, what is the telephone number, who exactly can they go, who's that the person. Tapos para, ganun din sa Bacoor, Cavite, specific, suspect bone cancer, see an orthopedic surgeon, who is the medical specialist employed by the government, the orthopedic surgeon in Bacoor, Cavite, who should give free consultation for this child. Hindi na siya kailangan pumunta sa private orthopedic surgeon, di ba? Hindi pa yun nalilink. Yan ang first step. The second step is training. Using this form, di ba? How does a lump on the leg look like for the barangay health center? We train. Third, we pilot and then we monitor. Then we look at the data, we coordinate. Diba? Yun eh. Siyempre, kailangan din namin, ang fourth part pala is basically communication with all the stakeholders. We should tell the orthopedic surgeon, let's say dun sa Provincial Hospital of Cavite, that they will receive patients from the community. Diba? And if they have questions, this is the PGH orthopedic surgeon who will help guide them and who will accept the referral from you. Or if you are in Antique, the third pilot, kung halimbawa, Antique ang third pilot or that island, di ba? So, sino sa Western Visayas or Eastern Visayas ang lalapitan? Kind of creating the map. We have so many databases ng provincial health officers. May samahan sila, ng social worker, may samahan sila, but we have never linked them for help.
Again, thank you, Dr. Alcasabas, for joining here with us and even sharing your patient stories. Despite the cancer law, childhood cancer patients in the Philippines still face significant challenges. However, with PGH leading efforts in cancer awareness, like coordination with other cancer centers and stakeholders, and the ongoing establishment of a childhood cancer helpline, Ms. Alcazabas hopes that survival rates in the country will improve and patients will have better access to childhood cancer care. This has been another episode of B-Side. Again, this is Edge Eva. Subscribe now and enjoy industry insights on Philippine business and beyond.